Okay, at where I teach, the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, we have a 2-semester required course called Keyboard Harmony. And other schools have keyboard skills courses, and this is a course that is dedicated to teaching, cultivating the skills necessary to compose and improvise. Harmony is very important to composers and to improvisers. I think homophony and polyphony are joined at the hip, don't you? Have you ever thought about if you didn't have? Well, actually, is there such a thing? Are there cultures in the West? There is no such thing as polyphony without harmony. Are there cultures where you could have a melody without harmonic implications? Are there cultures where you could have a polyphony, say 2 flutes playing melodies without implications of harmony? I really don't know that. I'm going to be contemplating that for a long time. Harmony, though, I think we'll all agree is important if you're going to be a composer or a jazz improviser especially. And so what I put together were it's a 2-semester course. The first semester is dedicated to the chord progressions that are the basis of Western harmony in the Common Era. Say that these chord progressions are the ones that are used from the 17th century when tonality began to become organized up until the beginning of the 20th century when tonality dissolved. The principles of tonality are all in these first 18 exercises, and every single composer has used the principles of these exercises. And most of these exercises, they're 18 in the first semester, and most of them, and I put them all in C major, but all the students have to be able to transpose them to any key without the score, without it being notated. And we also always put Roman numerals in. I didn't do that for every single exercise, but we make sure that we've studied the Roman numeral aspect. And most of them are SAT B, or as I like to say, SAT. There are a few that are SAT. But so it's basically 3 voices here, 1 voice here. And you all know these progressions. I'm not even going to go that is 1, 4. And is it 1, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4? We'll just say 6, 4, 5, 7. No, just 5, 7, 5, 1. Oh, cadential 6, 4. I learned that this is 1, 6, 4 when I was growing up. But there's, don't do that anymore. They call it 5, 6, 4. They call it a 5 chord with 2 wrong notes. Anyway, that's what theorists do nowadays. So when I'm putting my Roman numerals down, when we get to the cadential 6, 4, we just put 6, 4. We omit the Roman numeral. I don't really want to go there and talk about it. So they have to be able to do all of these exercises in any key at sight. Number 3, deceptive cadence. That's where you go from 5 to 6. That's the most common type of deceptive cadence, but it's not the only kind of deceptive cadence. And I have a little bit of secondary diminished sevenths. That's a little bit of chromatic, but most of this first semester is only diatonic. And I wait for the second semester to delve into more chromatic harmonies. Diatonic means when there are no accidentals. It's just all, within the key signature. And not only do they, oh, look, I also include examples. Here's an example from Handel's aria of another kind of deceptive cadence, going from 5 to 4. Say that this is that these are hidden parallel fifths. But he did it with the help of a suspension. Everybody has to play heart and soul. And if you want to be fancy, well, that's not fancy. Here's fancy. And then sometimes we do, oh, Arthur, I'm ready for you. Yes. Okay, you're going to come up here, and you're going to play the heart and soul, the fancy version. You go over there.
We don't get to see him.
It's better that way. It's way better that way. And bless him. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to play the fancy version. Then you're going to go down by half step. So we're going to do 2 measures in C major, 2 measures in B major, 2 measures in B flat major, and then until we croak, and then I'll stop. And I'm going to improvise on top.
Fine.
So in other words, when you get to this G
Sorry,
section,
so 2 vamps on each key. So you want me to do a reverse Barry Manilow?
I don't know what, but yes.
Lumen Barry.
So. And we had no plan. He didn't know he was going to be involved in this. Okay, so it's only 2 bars per key. And then when you get the tone of the 7th, you get that strange. Of course, the people who know music theory know that this could be considered a minor 6th chord. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's try it. So. Just 2 bars per key.
Okay, not 2 vamps. Just
just 2 bars.
1 vamp.
2. Whoa. So in other words, 1 vamp,
so
1 key.
Barely get acclimated to each key.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
We're rooting for you.
Okay. Okay. You ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I don't think I'm going to have as much fun so early. You're trying to get roll, man. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go too fast for me, man. Let's go to another progression. And where's your? We need your handouts because I want you to stay there and do number 5.
I don't have. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, go to exercise number 5. Exercise 5. And this is a diatonic major progression whose bass line descends by thirds. Let's all say that 5 times fast. Not exactly witty or catchy title, is it? But we all know this progression. It's a sort of a cadence, an extended cadence. 1, 6, 4, 2, conventional 6, 4, 5, 1. Okay, we're going to do this in C major. Okay, you're all in C major, and we're going to do it in 5/4, and you're going to go. And instead of doing the last chord, you just repeat. Okay. So instead of doing, we're going to do these first 3 measures and just keep vamping, and I'm going to improvise on top using that rhythm. Okay.
Got it.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. also require my students to do is to take each exercise. At the test, they have to be able to perform some kind of stylistic, textural, compositional variant based on that chord progression. And it could be something simple. Let's say we're going to do that in B flat major. You know, see what I did? Start making music with chord progressions. That's the whole point, is to show that composition has to do with harmony. Okay, let's continue with my little escapades. And if you have comments, critiques, suggestions, you can let me know. Oh, number 6 is that same progression in minor. And you can see that the page after that, I created a piece which I call the Sarabande, in the style of Baroque, using that same progression. So, Arthur, play the progression as is.
From the previous page?
Yeah, page 6. Diatonic minor progression whose bass line descends by thirds. Sounds like benediction in Lutheran church. And here is a Sarabande. Based on that progression. Sarabande is a Baroque dance. You know that Sarabande is a dance for kings, dumb kings. That's what we've done. Because they expected kings to be able to do 1, 2. That's a lot. And then number 8 is one harmonization of the major scale with an SATB. It's the Sa. And that's not the only progression. I have in this course, in the second semester, 3 more harmonizations of the major scale that become increasingly more chromatic with secondary dominance. But it seems to me that everybody should be able to do. Harmonization of the chromatic scale, but it's one that everybody knows, everybody recognizes. Oh, as long as we're talking about irregular resolutions of the dominant 7th. You know that we were taught the dominant 7th chords, that the 7th descends. Well, what happens in a situation like this where it goes up? Well, that's called, I don't know, maybe an irregular resolution of the dominant 7th chord. Oh, look a couple of pages further. I have exceptional resolutions of the dominant 7th chord from Beethoven. There's the 7th that goes up. And there's several examples of that. In Opus 10, number 1. Find those all over the place. They're not really irregular resolutions. It's just when the line, the 7th of the chord is part of a melodic pattern that's going up. Am I going overtime?
No, you're doing good.
Am I doing okay? Okay, let's see if we can keep entertaining people. Oh, number 10. Arthur, play number 10. And play it in D major. Exercise 10, and I want you to play it in D major.
Uh-oh, I'm stuck already.
Yeah.
Taco Bell canon?
You stole my punch. I'm going to say, anybody hungry for tacos? That's the Taco Bell canon. So, and indeed,
Johann Taco Bell, you can say it.
yeah, my father-in-law, late father-in-law, was Paco. And I say, Paco, tú sabes que hay una composición muy famosa que tiene tu nombre. Paco. Canon de Paco. That we used to call it Canon de Paco. And we also have suspensions, diatonic suspensions. You all know this. Exercise 11. Can you play, Arthur, the exercise 11, the first one, the top one, just in C major? Yes, C major. And notice what it is first. It's diatonic harmonization of a descending major scale, beginning on the third of the scale. So the first thing I ask my students to do is to look at what this is based on. So the soprano is descending line of major scale. And then there's a chord change on every half note. And the bass goes down by fourths until the end when it goes to and we have suspensions. Suspensions, I don't know if you know about those, but of course, all of my college students for freshmen, they're taking harmony, so they know what a 4/3 suspension is. That's when, in case anyone hasn't studied suspensions yet, that's when you have, say, a chord tone, the C in the alto, which then becomes a non-chord tone, which then resolves. So there are three aspects to the suspension. The chord where the voice is a member of the chord where it's a non-chord member, where it doesn't belong, and then the resolution. So this is a chain of suspensions. Do it first in C major. And that's basically the chord progression of the Taco Bell canon with suspensions. And you can do the same kind of adding melodies on top. Can you do this in another key, Arthur?
Funky.
Okay. No matter where you are, you're always just, if you hit a note that doesn't belong to the chord, you're just one step away. Make it good. Okay? That's the good news about this in improvising. I love this exercise. I'm actually having fun with you.
Mark your calendar.
You have, oh, are you saying peace?
3 minutes. I got 3 of them.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just say that we've had fun today. And take these home, and if someday I might come up, no, there's not enough fun in there, but I'm trying to figure out what my next project is. And it could be turning this one-year course, one-year syllabus into an actual book of exercises. Yeah. Okay, thank you.